Welcome to the NLP UK Training podcast. I'm Callie Fraser.
And I'm Steve Kay.
And today we want to start to have a bit of a conversation around how you build the right support group around you for whatever it is that you want to achieve in life. So one of the things that we both found when we started our NLP journey and started to get more positive, we started to notice people around us that were really negative. And I'd never noticed it before I did NLP. I kind of knew that people moaned and groaned and complained, but that was just how things were. It was part of life.
Can I tell you what happened when I went to trainers training? I went to trainers training in NLP trainers training in Las Vegas for 4 or 5 weeks. And I went Birmingham, Chicago, because that meant I could fly from Birmingham. And I came back after 4 or 5 weeks, and we went from Vegas and landed in Chicago, and all these Brummies got on the bus, and there was like this low level, oh, it's too hot in here, isn't it? And all that kind of thing. And it was like immediately it hit me. It was like a low level vibe going on. It wasn't specifically the words they used. It was just like this undercurrent, because I'd been around like 40 positive people for 5 weeks. And all of a sudden I'm in this transfer bus in the airport with this low level mumbling and grumbling. So I know exactly what you mean.
It's so common, isn't it? That so many people, they'll look for the negative in anything. And I think that's probably because they're looking for a way to protect themselves.
So what you're saying is that if you start doing stuff that makes you more positive and you start having a more of an uplifting attitude of life, then you begin to notice the people who are mumbling, grumbling. Well, there's an answer. Don't do the positive courses. Stay as you are.
Yeah, there is that. That's definitely an option. But for me, I think it was that I found it very uncomfortable to be around those types of moaners and groaners. Maybe not the low level stuff, but certainly people that were more negative than most. There's always the odd one, isn't there? I'm sure that anyone listening, they've got that mood hoover at work. They've got that person that literally sucks the energy out of the day. You can't always change those people. Quite often on our courses, we're going, well, how do we change someone else? How do we make someone as positive as we are?
Yeah.
But
you can't do it. And it's not worth trying. You've got to just work on yourself, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
So I had a phone conversation with one of the learning development managers of a corporate we used to work with. I'd been doing leadership training, and this learning development manager said, how's so-and-so doing? And I said, well, she comes in the morning and she's like having a moan and a groan, and it's difficult and it's hard and la, la, la. But after 15 minutes, she's fine. It's like, she's all right.
Got out of her system.
Yeah. And this learning development manager said, Steve, you just kind of got to realize that not everybody's as far down the road as you are. And when she did that, I thought, oh, that's okay.
And sometimes it's just habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
You ask someone, how you doing? Oh, I'm all right.
Yeah.
That's just the habit that we get into. And people sometimes don't even realize it. But I think as the more that you develop yourself, and the more that you get into a good space yourself and become more positive and start to see things through that different lens, it can be so uncomfortable that you've got to really think about who you spend your time with. I know that I've still got lots of friends that I had way before I did NLP. But I've got more people around me that are more positive, and they're the ones that I spend the most time with. So I spend most of my working time with you. You're uber positive about everything. So that really helps lift me up. I have a meeting every Thursday afternoon with Lorna.
Mm-hmm.
So Lorna books everyone onto our NLP and 3 Principles programs. And we get together for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And honestly, her energy It doesn't matter what's going on. She's so energetic. She's so positive. I leave that lunchtime meeting absolutely bubbling and bouncing. So what I find is that the more positive people that I can kind of have in my support crew, they're my kind of key people, the more that I come up to meet their energy.
But also you have an impact on her.
Yeah.
Because if you're upbeat and I'm upbeat about what we're doing and excited about some new stuff we're doing, that feeds into her. So when she's talking to potential customers, she's much more upbeat. If we were like really downbeat and everything's not very good, and can you get some more customers? It's not very good out there and the market's difficult. That would really bring her down as well. So it's important that we all feed off each other and the delegates on the course as well, that
Absolutely.
they help each other afterwards. I mean, one of the things we have is like a WhatsApp group for each cohort, don't we? So if anyone's having a bad day, they can pop it into the WhatsApp and they'll get loads of encouragement from other people. People bounce in and help them out, don't they? Which is really, really good. And I don't think many people have that. I don't think many people have that in where they work or, you know, maybe at home. One of the most positive people that I know is my ex-dentist. He's got a really good attitude to life, and you think dentists are very technical and stuff, but the way he's with people, it's superb. It makes you feel good. The energy rubs off, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So I think really what we're saying is, you know, if you're listening to this, think about whether you're lifting someone up with your energy, whether other people want you in their support network. You know, are you that person that energizes, or are you the one that drains them? And be aware of that for yourself, but also think about who you're spending the majority of your time with. Can you spend more time with more positive people that lift you up rather than pull you down to where they are? So that's our kind of top tip for this podcast.
Can I just chip in with something about support network? Because I know people in the past who've said, oh, you're part of my support network. And that almost implies, they've not said it, but almost implies that they need that, rather than what we're not saying that. We're saying that you are you and Callie's Callie, and it's up to us to put our own mask on first and up to us to be cheerful and positive. But it does also help if people around us are, but we don't need a support network. That would be kind of a bit negative and not taking as much personal responsibility for ourselves. So what we're saying is be around fairly cheerful, positive people who can look at a challenge but with a bit more of a smile on the face and acknowledge that something's a problem at work. You know, there's no point in going in, someone said we've made a load of parts there, you know, non-conforming, and you know, we've got a shitload of scrap over there. Ooh, we'll look on the bright side. Every cloud, there's no point in being like that.
Yeah, no,
what we're saying
awful.
is, okay, what can we do about it? What can we do to improve the situation? Having people like that around is what we're talking about.
So be that person and find people like that, and you will have a much, much happier life for sure.
Can we just add in a bit more about knocking people and putting people down? Because we hear people and they put other people down. And it's very easy to put other people down because sometimes that can make us feel better if we say, oh, well, yeah, look at the holidays they're going on. Look at the amount of money they're spending on that. Oh, they can't be having a good time. Blah, 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 blah. I read this book by Paul McKenna, and I think Michael Neal co-wrote it with him, about how to be rich. And what Paul McKenna said was, don't criticize people who are doing better than you. Big them up and say, well done. Because what that does, he said, was it gives you a lift too. You cannot have a lift yourself if you're praising what someone else is doing for themselves. And I think that's really good. And that's something that we can start off with right now. So if you see someone who's going on a nice holiday and, you know, seems to be doing well for themselves, good for them. Well done. That's great. And you will feel better as well for saying that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's about inflating others around us, and that in turn inflates us and makes us feel good.
So guys, that's it for today's podcast. We'll see you next time. So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.